Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing well, enjoying your weekend as much as you can, because there is this lingering doubt now surrounding Chelsea that I didn't have 2 months ago. I didn't have it, in December, and I'm starting to feel what all of you, I'm sure, are feeling is this feeling that not only am I concerned with the way this club is being run from top all the way through, but I'm concerned with what that is going to lead to. Where are we going? Where are we? And can we finish in a position that justifies what we've done over the past couple of years? We talk about a process. I mean, a lot of people at the moment are talking about a protest. And for those of you who didn't watch my stream at lunchtime with Charlie at 1 o'clock, we spoke about the protest in great detail, at great length. And we've given our thoughts on it, and we've given all the information about that as well. So if you haven't watched that stream, maybe it would be good to check that out. If you want more specifics, although I'm still obviously going to touch on it, I'm going to speak about it. And it's important that everybody has full information as to what's going on. That's only important, but also we need to talk about where is any of the logical sense coming in terms of Chelsea being able to finish in the Champions League position. For those fans who still believe that we can actually get anything out of this year, where is that coming from? Because I am not in that position anymore. I'm honestly going as far to say our season is finished, and the only thing that can save our season is the Conference League, and even by that standards, I think it's a disastrous season, to be totally honest with you, because that will put us in a position where, if you're looking at it from the club standpoint, and we love hearing about the PR, don't we? How can you twist that to find a positive? Like Maresca found a positive for us going out of the cup, to focus on the Premier League, only to then lose to Brighton less than a week later. We love finding the positives, don't we? But what that will allow the clubs to do, if we finish in a Europa League position, is say, listen, that's why we had this 2-year plan, this 2-year process with Maresca to get us to the Champions League. Because we finished 12th, we then finished 6th, we had Conference League, and then we go Europa League. The next natural progression, surely, is Champions League. But if I'm being totally honest with you, I don't see any progression. I see regression. I see us getting worse every single week. It doesn't get better. It gets worse. How can you say the players are improving? I had players last season playing better under Pochettino than they are under Maresca. What, Maresca's this great manager? Oh, he's got injuries. He's got problems. We didn't have injuries last season. No chance. But unfortunately, one thing that Maresca has in common with Pochettino from last season is they both had to work with Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley. Two incompetent men, whatever you want to call them, bums, they're crap. Totally crap. And whichever manager comes in is going to have the same problem working with these guys who were employed by Clearlake and Blueco. So again, when I criticize the manager, we also criticize the board, the directors of football, the sporting directors, the ownership, the consortium. And, I want to give you we'll sort of dive into, the form that Chelsea have been in. And we're still going to obviously touch on the protest as well. I will speak about that, so stay tuned if you haven't already. And we're gonna look at what Chelsea have done, and where we think we can go as well. In fact, let's see what some of the comments are saying. Daniel is in the building. Hello to you, Daniel, mate. I hope you're doing well. Gemma, good to see you. Hello, Ficon. I hope you're doing well. Henro as well. Good to see you on the stream. He says, finally, a protest is going to happen. I do think that this has been a long time coming because people have been oblivious to what they've been seeing with the ownership. And I don't actually blame you for being oblivious because I was as well. I genuinely thought to myself, maybe there was some ambition. But January has taught me something very different, that there isn't any ambition. Because if we had ambition, instead of spending 12 million on 3 youngsters, why not just buy a good player and scrap the rest of it? Because you don't have to keep churning out all these players, because one of them's going to work if they're top. It's ridiculous, honestly. Daniel Knight said, I don't think Chelsea will not get top 4. I think you agree with me, Daniel. I think what you're trying to say is that you don't think we'll get top 4. I agree with you on that. I agree with you there. He says, Blue Co out. Mellon doesn't think that CFC are going to finish in the top 4. Fair play to you, mate. Alan says, Chelsea fan, yes, you need to protest and get rid of these guys from around the club. Figo says, how can me as an international fan help with the protest? I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you are not in a position where you can obviously go to the bridge and have your voice heard in that sense. But in the modern day, in the online communities that are around, you can spread the word, you can support channels and help push that out. And that's really the main thing that you can do. So by going on any channel and supporting them, well, especially if they're talking about it, that helps, as well as reposting all of this stuff on your own platforms. Even if you only have 10 followers, those are 10 people that may not have known about this. So I'm sure you'll still have an impact. But yeah, big up to you, Ficon. Akila says it's over. We are done for the season. There'll be a few wins, but don't be fooled. It almost has that same feeling as in Frank Lampard's second spell at the club. I'm just going to quickly turn my radiator off because it's too hot. Oh, just going to get a glass of water. Where the fuck is my water? Sorry about that. I should have been a bit more prepared, but it's too hot. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Akila. I genuinely believe the season's over, if I'm honest with you. From a league standpoint, obviously we have the Conference League. Like, I'm still going to go to the games. And I think I've seen 1 or 2 comments of people saying don't go to the games. I'll give you my thoughts on that when I read a chat about it. But I don't necessarily think that's the solution, is to stop going to games. I don't want to play Thursday night football next season. Unfortunately, Daniel, I think we are looking like we're going in that direction. I really believe we are. Chelsea Young Boys says, no experience, no leaders, all young players with no direction. And from the top to the bottom, no winning mentality. Even the tea lady makes shite tea up the Chelsea. I don't really have tea when I go to Chelsea, but listen, if that's what you've seen, or fair enough. But yeah, it's the whole club has totally morphed from what it was. And I've spoken to people from inside the club who have said, Alex, it used to be, for example, you look at the hospitality sector with people working in you've got waiters and waitresses and people serving drinks, whatever it is. People say it used to be more when they have their meetings, because these guys still have meetings, don't they, about customer experience, making sure that people were happy and enjoying their time at Chelsea. Now it is, where is the money? Where is the money? Why haven't we sold out a Tuesday night against whatever shit team? Well, hang on a second. That's not good enough. We need the revenue. All about money, people. And I said this when we started having these discussions about the Sassy going to Aston Villa, that's when I thought, something's not right here. And we are in a real predicament. Let's just put it like that. We're in a predicament. And we don't know what direction this is going in. And when we talk about the protest as well, I spoke with Scott earlier. He said to me, Alex, this will only work if everyone has the same message and is united as one. I agree, but also disagree with that, because you can have different messages and your voice can still be heard. Because whether you are Clear Lake out or Blue Co out, or change the model, sack the board, these are all things that you can bring up. And I think that even if everyone has a different sign up, and those are the three things that people are talking about, and maybe there's one or two other things, I think that is still a message that can be effective. I think that what they will see is there are a portion of the fan base who are more level-headed than others, and nobody is right or wrong. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. My stance is, if we could have a new ownership, I would love it. I would love it. I think these owners are doing a terrible job. I think they're rubbish, absolute rubbish. Especially, it's difficult, isn't it? Because, of course, sometimes you read the comments and you watch other streams and you see all the information, and there isn't really an owner that you could look at and say, I'd like to know what this guy's got in mind, because we know what Egbali and Feliciano want, but because they own the majority of the club anyway, with over 60% of shares. And then you've got the other consortium with Bowley, and we know that his approach is different, but I'm not 100% sure whether he objectively disagrees with what Clear Lake are doing. That's what I would like to know. That's what I would like to know. And if the answer is no, which it may be, he has no problem with what they're doing anyway, then more power to the fans. Say what you want about the whole consortium, treat them all the same. If there is a genuine disconnect up the top, and you've got Bowley who relinquished power of the club in terms of making footballing decisions, passing that over to Clear Lake, then I do think that it would be worth looking at the model, because whatever happens here, look, I'm just going to, I try and be as level-headed as possible. I don't think they're going to sell the club, even if the protest goes very well. It's going to take a number of protests, a number of them, 5, 6, 10, probably a couple of years worth as well, right? I don't think this is something that happens in months. I think this is something that takes years, but this could still accelerate a process, because these guys, and this is a very valid point that I've heard, is why would they tie themselves in for 10 years to a business, to an asset, and have no plausible way of being able to get out of it? That, to me, is not very good business. And these are guys that, whatever you want to say about their football IQ, they know how to do business and they know how to make money. So it wouldn't be smart from that perspective, especially from an investor standpoint. We look at Clear Lake, all the shareholders, because it's not all Egbali's money. Most of it isn't his money. He is using other people's money and trying to cash in like that. Again, they're a hedge fund. We are Hedge Fund FC at the moment. So there's so many different angles to look at it. We have no winning mentality at the moment. That's one thing people can agree. When I saw the comment from Fabrizio Romano, I think Pies reposted it, and I will come to your other comments. Don't worry. I mean, it's fucking pathetic, isn't it? It's pathetic. Look at what we are seeing here, people. Look at this. Honestly. Chelsea's idea was Champions League this season. That's what they want. Chelsea are planning with Enzo Maresca for the future and have already started some summer transfer meetings. Chelsea are happy with his tactics, the mentality he is giving to the team. No issues. They believe he is the right man. What a joke. Absolutely pathetic. It's incredible. Because Maresca's come out and said something totally different, but you got Fabrizio completely contradicting that. What else? Fabrizio also said, in terms of a long-term view, CFC are not changing their mind on Maresca. That's what I can tell you in February. Then in football, we know how things can change in any club. Country for any manager in 5 minutes. But today, Chelsea absolutely see Maresca as the right man for present and future. He is. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, Fabrizio is a well-respected journalist, but someone's got something wrong. Either Fabrizio's talking shit or Maresca's talking shit. Someone is talking shit. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe the club's talking shit and they can't keep up to date with the amount of lies they're telling. So they tell Maresca something, forgetting that they told Fabrizio something totally different. I don't know. I don't agree with boycotting the game. I don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that. I think that, to be totally honest with you, look at it from a financial standpoint as well, especially season ticket holders. You know, we've already paid for our tickets. What's the point of boycotting the game? I've already given them my money. Now, if you're talking to members can't get tickets irrespective, and then you got the tourists anyway. When things get political, and unfortunately, that's the stage that this is starting to get to. It's getting more political. Is you will have the group of hardcore Chelsea fans, like a lot of yourselves, I'm sure, and people that are in the loop, right? I look at the news, I see what's going on with Chelsea on a day-to-day. I know the little details, but you've got other fans who just want to rock up and watch their team. They don't look at any of this shit. So if you want to have a united front, I think it's very difficult to do it boycotting the games, because if you don't go, someone else will. And that's one of the reasons I don't agree with it. On top of the fact that I just want to support my team and watch my team anyway. Like, why should I be taken away from my team that I want to watch, even if I know they're crap? Because that's just the way I am. You know, I'll go and support Chelsea if we're in the Championship. Like, honestly, to be quite frank, I go and watch my local team, Reading. I have more fun watching them than I do Chelsea. They're not even a Championship team anymore. They're League One. So, yeah, I don't think boycotting is the option. I think that this is something that has to be vocally demonstrated to the media, in the stadiums, in many different ways. It needs to be addressed, and you need to have your voices heard. But if it's only once, it means nothing. And if that one time you don't have a real number of fans coming out to support these protests, then again, it means nothing. So you need hundreds, if not thousands, of Chelsea fans to come to these protests every time for it to have any meaning whatsoever, which is why we take Strasbourg seriously and their protests, because they are consistent, they are passionate. They sit down for the first 15 minutes of every game and don't make any noise because they don't like Bluco. You got Mark Keller, the director of Strasbourg, saying the fans need to support the players. You've got Liam Rosnier saying the players deserve the support. It's not about the players. It's about the ownership. It's about the model. It's about ripping the heart and soul out of a club. That's what it's about. It's more to it than the players. The players need to understand that. It's nothing personal against the players. Big up to you, Melon. Everyone smash the like button. We've got 140 of you in the building. Let's get up to 100 likes straight away. Smash the like button. Again, I am going to be talking about the football as well, but you know, obviously we are talking about the ownership. It's a relevant topic, isn't it? You might as well talk about it. I have a feeling we might not even make the top 10 after watching that Brighton game. Well, I'll make my prediction very shortly, so stay tuned. I mean, we're going to do a points tally. What have we got? What did we have last season? Someone asked me this a couple of days ago, and I said that I think we would beat the points tally that we had under Pochettino. I did say that, but not by a long stretch. So maybe my prediction will be different, having seen what I've seen recently. Paul Westilian, Stewart out. Totally agree with you, Daniel, there. Stu says mid-table teams have improved quite a bit. We have regressed. You've hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. Clear Lake, Bali, Bowley, Feliciano, and Risk. Get out of our football club, says CFC Finland. Carnage, hello to you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Good to have you on the stream. Chelsea Youngboy says, we have 2 season ticket holders since the early 90s, home and away, and Europe spent thousands, and in 2 games in 3 years. What? And in 2 games and 3 years with these clowns have destroyed our club. Blue coat out, protest up the Chelsea. There you go. So obviously you go to a lot of the games. You've been going for many, many years, and I can totally appreciate, and I'm sure there's a lot of the old school fans as well who, what's the word, will be leading the line on this, because you have seen Chelsea in an era which I never got to see, because I'm just not old enough to have lived through that. I didn't live through the 90s. I didn't live through the 80s. I didn't live through the 70s. Some of you might have even lived through the 60s as well, etc. So you would have seen what Chelsea was like at those points in times. And even if we weren't a good football team, we had a camaraderie, we had a heart as a club, we had a soul. Chelsea was known for, we were a proper club, fucking hell. So many beautiful things about Chelsea, even if we didn't win. I know we started winning in the 90s, but it was actually organic as well. We didn't even spend our way to the top. Like, Roman Abramovich bought us when we were practically already an established top 4 team anyway. And then we just pushed on, didn't we? And I thought maybe we can push on. It's just going to be a little bit slow with these owners. And they've literally, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. You want to let your wings fly. You're an adult. Oh my God. Maybe you're 17 and you just got a job. You've been working for a couple of years. The tax man's come. Where's all my money gone? Fucking hell. I thought I was going to build a life for myself. At this rate, you think to yourself, I've got to move to Dubai. I've got to move to Saudi, wherever this country is. Like, get out of this country, man, because England is crap. The football is crap. And we are working with some serious bums at the moment, because it's very difficult to analyze something that you know is just rotten. It's not right, is it? What is good about what we have at the moment? Where do you see the benefit? Our owners aren't English. They're not Chelsea fans. They're American. Our sporting directors have no success within this level of football. Maresca, like, I don't know what you want. I don't trust him to cut my hair, and I don't trust him to manage my football team. That's how I feel about Maresca. It's nothing personal with these people. You know, I know some people get personal. It's nothing personal. For them, it's business. So you need to release a clear message. Whatever your message is, I suggest you turn up. I really do. I think that it will be a bigger protest than people can imagine. I honestly believe that there will be hundreds, if not thousands of people. There should be. There has to be, for this to have any sort of strength whatsoever. Otherwise, it's pathetic. And to be honest with you, the next time you'd have a protest after that, nobody would have cared, because it didn't work the first time when you had so much momentum and reason to protest in the first place. So this is important, because it will be the catalyst for the future as well. Leon, good to see you on the stream, mate. I hope you're doing very well. Nana says Maresca is stum, and all he needs to do is tweak the system a bit. I believe Caicedo and Enzo Perez are not working. Nana, I do not think that Maresca will tweak, which is why I'm not a fan of him. But we'll see. Maresca out, owners out. Henry says, please keep using your various platforms to voice, platforms to denounce his ownership and send them packing. Big up to you, Henry. Puy says, we don't have game changers. We had a few game changers. You know, we had João Felix. We loaned him out. You know, we had a little bit of depth. We got rid of it, didn't we? So we don't even have what we had at the beginning of January. We weakened ourselves. We made ourselves worse. I think we'll finish 5th in Champions League. ACFC, my friend, whatever you are drinking, my friend, I need some of that. This is not vodka. This is water. Maybe I need to change. Maybe I need to stop filling up with vodka if I keep doing these streams. Big up, Alex. Glad you've seen the light. Let's get these owners out, Rongans. Big up to you, Mark. Cage says, yeah, just don't see us coming out of the current run of form. I don't see it either, to be honest with you, because you need character and quality. I struggle to see either of those things. We don't have character, we don't have quality, and we don't have depth. Are there Chelsea fans who have voiced their concerns to the Chelsea Supporters Trust before the protest? I have no idea, Morris. It's a great question. It's worth... You could probably email the CST as well. Like, you could probably get in touch with them, and I'm sure they might get back to you. Respect Chelsea Fan TV. Alex, you have seen the light with these owners. Keep the message flowing up Chelsea. We will finish in the top 5. Otherwise, we'll drop points as well. P.S. I believe in the process as well, by the way. Big up to you, Kems. Hope you're doing well, mate. Doc says a protest should not be done once. And also, fans should stop going to the stadiums until these clowns have gone. I don't believe in not going to the stadium. Again, it completely defeats the point. People look at football fan channels like we're some sort of pundits. I am really not different. I go to the game. I have a few drinks. I might buy a burger in the burger stands, and that's it. And I do this stuff as well. But I went to Chelsea before I did this stuff because I like going. And even if we have the worst owners in the world, I don't think that would stop me from going, because I love going to watch Chelsea. It's a part of my life. It's a part of my lifestyle. I've been going to Chelsea since I was 15 years old regularly, and I'm 23. So I started watching Chelsea home and away when I was 17. That was Lampard's first season. I don't believe in not going to these games. I really don't believe it. I don't think it brings anything positive to the club. If you can't get anything positive through the owner, see if you can maybe get something positive on the pitch. Like, try and extract whatever little joy you can from supporting this club. That's my stance on it. I don't believe in not turning up whatsoever, because how you can be a fan of something and you don't have to necessarily buy the merchandise. I'm not saying you should. If that's how you want to boycott the club, then that hits the pockets, because we all buy shirts. We all buy things from the club. Funny enough, this isn't Chelsea merchandise. This is another company. So you can buy a lot of Chelsea stuff without going through the club. I don't think boycotting the games is the way to do it. Because also, if you're boycotting the games, you defeat the point of having protests anyway. Because why would you have a protest on a match day if you're going to boycott the game irrespective? It's really disappointing after playing so well in the beginning, Danny. I totally agree with you, man. We will go to the games 100%. 100%. It's our Chelsea. We love. It's our love up the Chelsea. Yeah. Fuck me. I'm reading the comments. Very sad, isn't it? Very sad. When we were in the studio yesterday recording the podcast, some of you may have watched that podcast. We all have a joke, don't we? I mean, if you watch the first minute, you probably think, what the hell are these guys on about? Father done a bloody diss track on Clown Lake. Not that I could understand a word he was saying. But there was a lot of tension in the studio. A lot of tension. You almost see tears in people's eyes. They weren't crying, but you could see there was a bit of water there, because when have we ever had these conversations? Like, when? Like, United are in the mud. And I had a conversation with someone about this earlier, about Man United. And he said, they've changed managers. They've got a new owner. and they're still shit. But what you will see with United, what you are seeing with United, like, believe it or not, Jim Radcliffe is a Man United fan. So even if he pushes prices up and does things that fans don't agree with, you can't doubt the fact that that's his club. There is a record of that. And Amorim is a top established coach who is working in a very difficult scenario. They will be going in a better direction than us. That concerns me. I know they've still got American owners with the Glazers, but they haven't got control of football operations. If we had a similar thing at Chelsea, and let's just say Nick Candy, for example, who knows a big Chelsea fan, he's a billionaire, an English billionaire. That would, I don't know. I feel very hopeless. I feel hopeless, guys. I feel like we're going to be having this conversation for years. I really do. We are Hedge Fund FC. Maybe that's how I should introduce all the videos from now on. It's not welcome to Chelsea Fan TV. It's welcome to Hedge Fund FC. We are a fucking hedge fund. Fair play, Alex, for opening up and being honest and saying things for what they are in this circus. Unlike others walking with blind faith and not being real, they are part of the problem. Who is that though? I don't really watch much of this. I do tune in occasionally to some of these, but I don't really watch it. Who's not talking about this? Because my opinion, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is something people have sort of opened their eyes up to now. Who's not saying it? I know Johnny is. I know Eunice is. I know I saw George. Who's not saying it? Lewis said it the other day. Said it on the podcast. Surely can't do 2 lives in a day. It fucking can. Big up to you, Cameron. For those who don't know who Cameron is, he is the cameraman. So if you watch the fan cams, that is because of Cam. Oh, God. Right, let's talk about one of the other things I wanted to speak about, because we're 32 minutes in. I'll still have a chance to read your questions. So this is our results so far this season. Do we have last season's results? Can I pull them up? I actually can. Maybe it's worth doing that. I think it's worth literally just going through this and just trying to gauge where we are. Okay, let's try and... Okay. Okay, I'm going to... And again, please don't think that when I talk about last season, I'm just talking about Pochettino, because I'm not. He is part of what I think would have been better for Chelsea. But again, you look at the way we started last season and where we are now. So this is the beginning of last season. Okay, we had a difficult time in a lot of respects. Draw against Liverpool, beat West Ham, beat Luton, blah, blah, blah. And then we start to have a bit of a tough time. Nottingham Forest was not good. We drew against Bournemouth, lost against Aston Villa at home. We were in the depth of hell at this point. I mean, I'm just talking about the fans in terms of how much outroar there was. Beat Brighton, beat Fulham, beat Burnley. Life's good. Drew against Arsenal because of a Robert Sanchez mistake. Lost to Brentford at home. Beat Blackburn, beat Tottenham, City. And we thought, okay, maybe we're getting back on track here. We lost 4-1 to Newcastle. We ended up losing to United, losing to Everton. We beat Sheffield at home. We had a bit of a cup run, didn't we? We beat Newcastle. Lost to Wolves, and then we started picking up some results, and we had arguably the worst result of last year against Middlesbrough, where I was sick and tired of everyone. And Fulham was the game. If Poch didn't win, he would have been sacked. We then beat Middlesbrough in the second leg. We got thrashed against Liverpool. We lost heavily against Wolves. And we had a nice away day against City. I remember that one. That was good fun. Lost at home to Liverpool. This is when the Roman Abramovich chants come out against Brentford. And you had fuck Todd Bowley chants as well. I remember that at Brentford. And then we started picking up some real form. Even though we bottled it against Sheffield, we beat Everton 6-0. We lost to City in the FA Cup. We should have won that game. We got thrashed against Arsenal. So there's this yo-yo, isn't there? There's this, we had some good times and we had some really, really bad times, didn't we? It was a yo-yo effect. You didn't know what was going to happen. We beat Forest. That was a fantastic away day. Smashed West Ham. Brighton was beautiful. Beat Bournemouth. That was a halfway goal from Caicedo. So we finished the season off strong. We really did. Now, if you look at this season, and I know that we're not at the end, so it's hard to judge. So let's just look at it. We lost to City. We conceded 2 against Wolves. We still won that game. We lost to cfctvyt. We drew against Palace. We beat Bournemouth. This was the beginning of a good run for us. Okay, beating West Ham, beating Brighton, still conceding a lot of goals in these times. But we were able to outscore a lot of teams. We lost against Liverpool. I said we deserved to win that game. I thought Maresca coached a fantastic game against Liverpool. And in all the Conference League matches, well, we were getting results. We decided not to take Newcastle in the Carabao Cup seriously, which I was really upset about. Now, this was strike one for me. This was a really, really major thing because we have always been a team that take these competitions seriously. And then when we played, we had a nice run of form, beautiful. This is when Maresca's chant came prevalent, beat Tottenham, and it was all from here. Everton. This is where you want to see, again, what did I just show you with last year? Okay, and again, this is part of what the reason I don't think that we're going to finish in the top 4. What I'm showing you now and what I've just showed you. Last year, we would have a tough period and find something to bounce back off. We would lean on a player. We would tweak something. We would, whatever it was, we would do something. Now, you saw that we did the same thing at Everton. We didn't manage the game well against Fulham. Pathetic against Ipswich. And then up to the Crystal Palace game, their manager said, I know how Chelsea's going to play because you see the same fucking thing every week. They get a point. We dropped more points. We beat Morecambe. Hallelujah. We drew against Bournemouth. Beat Wolves. Happy days. Then you lose against City. A game that we really could have won. Robert Sanchez killed us. We beat West Ham. And we've lost to Brighton twice. But the reoccurring theme is, guys, that from this point here against Everton, what has Maresca what has he done to tweak anything to try and change our results? This is before the window. Yeah. We do the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. The same thing. We're so good because we beat Morecambe. We're great because we beat Wolves. We dropped points against Bournemouth. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. Now, again, if you're Pep Guardiola's Man City side, you can afford to do this. I don't get it. I don't get it. We don't have the players that Man City have. We don't have the talent ID in terms of being able to sign established players to, or even the hunger to. You've got to have a manager that can adapt things. You've got to. So that's one of the reasons I don't believe we'll get top 4. Another reason that I don't believe we will get top 4 is See if I can get it up. January. See if I can get it up for you guys. Oh, it's pathetic, isn't it? Absolutely pathetic. So this is another reason that I don't think we will finish, because we weakened our squad for no reason. Ben Chilwell. And again, that goes back to the manager. Like, other managers would have been able to fit Ben Chilwell in. Maresca can't fit him in. Maresca can't fit the Sassy in. Maresca couldn't fit Chukwuemeka in. He would have easily improved us. It's ridiculous. So we weakened ourselves on this front. We weakened ourselves on that front, even if you don't want to admit it. Here we go. We got other players. Vega was depth that we could have had. Wiley was depth that we could have had. Fucking ridiculous. Oh, he was recalled. Oh, he's a fucking championship. Brilliant. Oh, he's in the championship. That's great. Yeah, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's just ridiculous. Cassaday's gone. We've got no midfield depth whatsoever. We've got zero midfield depth. So, and the only recalls that we had Chalobah, bloody Ansel Mina. They're the only ones that have a real impact on what we're doing at the moment. Fofana's injured, so I mean, it's just how uninspiring. You'd think that I'm reading the transfers of Tottenham. That's how you would feel about what you've just seen. We are like Tottenham with silverware. We're like Tottenham. Honestly, mate, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. To come to then my conclusion on this, which is where can Chelsea, if we're not going to finish in the top four, where are we going to finish? So you ask a very fair question there. So let's have a look at the Premier League table. Let's have a look at it. I don't know why that's coming up. Anyway, so right now we are on 43 points. That's what we finished on. 43 points, man. Last season we finished on 63. And the fact that I don't feel that confident that we can do much better, I really don't feel that confident. That is not a good place to be as a club. It's not a good place. This is what the season finished as. It finished like this. We were on 63 points, only 3 points in front of Newcastle and Man United. But we managed to get the job done. Tottenham on 66, Aston Villa on 68. You can't put yourselves in the same composition as the other three. Arsenal, Liverpool, City. Way ahead of us. Way ahead. So, where we are right now in the table, $43 points. Oh, God. 43 points. We've got to get 20 points, and I don't know if we can even get 20 points. I really don't. Let's go through it though. Maybe I'm just being a little bit too reactionary here. So I don't know how many points are up for grabs. So let's get the calculator up. Okay, let's get the calculator up. Aston Villa away. We already know that is a loss. We're not beating Aston Villa. It's not going to happen. Southampton, you would say that that's a game we should win. So I'm going to say 3 points there. Now I'm gonna say honestly, you might think I'm negative. The way Leicester have played, they cause problems for teams. We're not going to win that game. We're not going to beat Leicester. I don't think I don't think we'll beat Leicester. Even though I saw them lose to Arsenal yesterday, I think that they've got enough to beat us. I really do. We don't have a striker. We do not have a fucking striker. At best, we get a draw against Leicester at home. That's how I feel, to be honest with you. So I'm going to put 1 point for that. I think we'll get a draw against Leicester at best. Arsenal away, 0 points. Is it even worth elaborating on that? We lose that game. Tottenham at home. Now, this is in April. So, March, April. Potential. I mean, I don't. Is Mark Guiu going to be back? Is anyone going to be back? Maybe we beat Tottenham. I can back a Tottenham win because the fans are going to be up for it. So I'll put 3 points against Tottenham. We never ever do well against Brentford away from home. Very rarely do we get a good result there. So I'm going to say 0 points against Brentford. I think we lose that game. Yeah, I think we lose that game. And then I'm going to say a win against Ipswich. I think we can beat them. We have more quality than they do, even though they have the lap. I think we have more quality than they do. Against these terrible sides, you can, with the lack of quality, you can still pick up points. You can still pick up points. He says Lavia will be back. Well, that helps. It does help. I'll give you that. Yeah, so I think we'll get 3 points against Ipswich. I think we'll lose to Fulham. I think we'll lose. Fulham have looked really good this season. I've been really impressed with what they've done. Everton, we've generally had good results against Everton over the years. So I'm going to say, based on our previous record against them, 3 points. I think we lose against Liverpool. I think that we lose against Newcastle away from home. I think there's a draw against United. It's always a draw in it every time they come to the bridge. And honestly, I think we lose against Nottingham Forest. That has given me a total of 14 points. So we are currently on 43 points. That would let us finish on 57 points, which is lower than last season. But again, listen, maybe I'm being too negative here, and I'm not entirely accounting for injuries. We've said Lavia is going to be back. Jackson could be back against Spurs. These are all things that will help the team. No way our men's team will win those 14 points at all. I don't know. Maybe I'm certainly not being positive. I can appreciate that. But yeah, from my standpoint, it's going to be very, very difficult when you're playing this style of football, 90 minutes of back passing, to get anything. ACFC thinks we'll get 19 points. Is that too positive? I don't know. You say that. You say we're going to beat... I don't know, mate. I don't know. Arsenal had to work hard to beat them. They're a good side. Honestly, man. We were lucky we played them when Steve Cooper was still their manager, because they were terrible under him. But I think that... what's his name? Oh, fucking forgot his name. Van Nistelrooy is a better manager than him. He's proven himself in Holland as well. He's actually done quite well out there. So I would respect Leicester more. So yeah, that's my stance on everything at the moment, guys. I don't think we're going to finish in the top 4. If we were to finish on, how many points did I say we finished on? 57. Based on last season's table finish, 57 points would have us 9th in the table. 9th. So if we are finishing 9th, I don't think that inspires any top players to want to come to Chelsea. I don't think anyone comes to Chelsea and thinks, wow, what a great what a great atmosphere. Maybe it's a great paycheck compared to what you had. Still fits the wage cap, of course. Let's not push the boundaries here. But that's my stance on it. We have to be very, very patient, but not patient at the same time. Because this protest will have an impact, but it won't have an instant impact. It will take multiple protests to get anywhere. What's the word? Multiple protests to get anywhere where it can make significant change. One protest will catch the attention of the owners. Multiple protests will catch attention of everyone else. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it won't get traction. Of course, it's going to get traction. But as with anything in life, sometimes with different companies, you got to call them and email them 4 or 5 times before you get what you want. And I think we're going to have to do a lot of knocking on doors with these guys to get them to listen. But who said they're going to listen? I don't know. I hope they do. I think that this protest will give us a genuine chance to change the model. And I hope that we do that. I really hope that we do that. I will be going, Pierre. I will be going to the protest. I will be supporting the protests. I think that, look, fans have the right to express their opinion. Like, there's probably no channel better in a Chelsea fan channel perspective than us. I literally sit there and I stand there and ask Chelsea fans for their opinion. You have to respect that fans have opinions. Not everyone's opinion is correct, but they're still opinions. And if everyone is on the same page about how badly we're doing, then something is wrong. Something needs to change. So let's do that. Let's wipe it clean. Change something. I got a funny story about these Super League protests because I really, really wanted to go, and I ended up working. I chose to work. They asked me to work, and I chose to work, and I quit my job a couple of days later because I was so disappointed with myself that I didn't go to the Super League protest. I was so gutted. I was like, what am I doing here? What am I doing? So absolutely, if you don't go and it's a successful process, you will regret not going. You could be a part of history. Nobody's saying that you're going to influence change. Nobody's saying that it's going to work. You don't know unless you try. You must try. You must come. If you are in London, you have no excuse not to make it. I know some people finish work at 6 o'clock. Come for 7. Come for 7:30. The game starts at 8:15. If you start at 7:30, you still have 45 minutes to make your name, to make your point heard. Bring banners. Make it clear. Why are you there? Are you there because of the ownership? Are you there because you want them out? Blue Coat, Clear Lake. Change the model. Winstanley and Stewart out. What is your reason for being there? I want to know why you're going to be there. It's important that people know. It's all great just standing there. Make your voices heard. Boycotting the games doesn't do anything either. Someone else will just take the ticket. Again, if you are a proper fan and you want to give up your ticket, a tourist will take that ticket, which is exactly what they want. You're actually helping them by boycotting because you're going to give a fan who's never been to a game, and that's a good thing, I guess. But it's going to be a fan who's never been to a game, who's then going to buy the merch and buy all of the food and drinks in the stadium and feed the pockets. So by boycotting, you are actually part of the problem, in my opinion. Keep supporting the team, but understand that there are some things you will not support. Chelsea is Chelsea. We love Chelsea. We just don't like the people who run Chelsea. That's where we need to be. What were Chelsea thinking of getting rid of Enzo Fernandez? Why do you think Palmer's form has dropped? What do you mean? Getting rid of Enzo Fernandez? What? What do you mean getting rid of Enzo Fernandez, Andy? Maybe I'm missing something here. Does someone know something that I don't? Getting rid of Enzo Fernandez? What do you mean? He's playing? Yeah, big up to you, Andy. I think that Palmer's form has dropped because Maresca is not getting the best out of the players around him. The system is one-dimensional. And he needs help, and he's getting no help, and he's in a toxic environment as well. So yeah, he's in a very, very toxic environment. So yeah, that's what I think about Palmer. I hope he stays. People are saying he'll leave. I pray that he doesn't leave. I really do. But yeah, the Chelsea aren't getting rid of Enzo Fernandez. So I'm honestly not sure what you meant there. So yeah, let me know why you said that. Maybe you meant another player. Alex, just remember the ladies are a shining light in this team. That is true. That is very true. Michael says, Alex, I met Todd Bowley last week at a conference in Miami. This is just business for him and the rest. Increase value and ROI and sell in 10 years. Very interesting, Michael. How did you meet Todd? Well, well, don't really know what to say. Big up to you, Michael, if that's true. And thank you for passing on the information. If you've got any more information, let us know. Let us know. But it's a very sad commentary, isn't it? If that's the case. Chelsea FC RK, he says, I have stopped buying Chelsea merchandise since last year, and the same with all my Chelsea fan. It's in the interest of the owner to leave. It's going to get worse for them. Well, big up to you, my friend. I respect what you're doing. Everyone does what they do for the best interests of the club. And that's the most important thing. We all have the best interests of the club. Unfortunately, I don't feel like the owners feel the same way. And we're in a scenario where whatever we have to do to address the way that they are treating this club, which is very poorly as it stands, then we've got to do that. If that means stop buying merchandise, then you do that. You can still get merch. I didn't buy this through Chelsea. You can still get Chelsea merch without feeding the club. You can still do that. So that doesn't have to change. Oh, Andy, you thought he went to Milan. You're talking about João Felix, my friend. Yeah, I think getting rid of João Felix was a disgrace. I think it was an absolute disgrace. I think it was a terrible decision from management, from board, and I think it was purely financial. And I think because it was financial, that makes it even more stupid because you paid about 45 million for it. So I think they're idiots, to be totally honest with you. Some players have improved under Maresca. I'm not going to sit here and say that he hasn't improved any of the players, but more players have got worse than good. Gusto has regressed. Jackson has regressed. Caicedo's improved. Fernandez has improved. Cucurella has maintained the same form as last season. He hasn't improved. He's just the same. Yeah, too many negatives. This is a really sad time. Like, why is it all negative? Why does it have to be negative? No problem, Andy. Your mistake. He thinks it was Felix. He scored for AC Milan. Yeah, he scored a lovely chip on his debut. He scored a lovely chip. And yeah, this is where we are, Andy. We're in a situation now where as soon as a player leaves Chelsea, how come they start performing? Well, maybe it's because the environment at Chelsea is not suitable. It's not good enough. It's not a good environment. It's all financial, unfortunately, people. And that is the state of our football club right now. Who is the injured player you think we're missing the most, Alex? We're missing Jackson a lot right now, even though he's not improving under Maresca. We are missing him. We're missing Lavia. We're missing Thiago Silva, who I know isn't here, but we're missing him a lot. We're missing a lot of people. We need a lot of help. We need all the help we can get as a club. Unfortunately, we are not going to continue to go in a good direction because it's so poor, the way this club has been run into the ground. That's where we are, though. That is where we are. So listen, smash the like button, guys. Got over 100 of you in the chat. I haven't got a clue how many likes we're on. But if you haven't already smashed the like button, please do. It supports the channel. Shows us that you're enjoying it. And we will continue to run as many shows as we can. Give you all the latest news. And also, most importantly, because we're fans, our opinions, as well as debating sometimes, because we don't all agree with each other. But listen, big up to you guys. It's the end of the show. I will be back tomorrow, or someone will be back. Let's see. Who's running the show tomorrow? So tomorrow, it is me and me. So I will be on all the shows tomorrow. We've got 3 Points Perspective as well, which is a podcast with myself, Charlie, and Nina. That will be recorded in the morning. So if you don't always like watching live stuff, you can watch that. Otherwise, I'll be doing the lunch show at 1 o'clock, and I'll be doing the evening show at 8 o'clock as usual. Big up to everyone. Oh, got a super chat as well. I'll check that out before I go. Chelsea FCRK. Why would I buy something that doesn't represent my values and club history? We are also planning to sue the Premier League for view rights in other countries. I didn't know that. I didn't know we were going to sue the Premier League for that. But yeah, again, listen, if you've got to stick to your principles. If your principle is against what this club is doing at the moment, and people have principles for different things. It could be having gambling sponsors, the way you run the club, the lack of ambition. Maybe the club spends too much money and they're driving you into the ground. Like, who knows? You have to stand up for your beliefs. That's a very, very important thing. So from my perspective, you've got to do that. And respect to you, my friend. Respect to you. Don't buy it. If you don't want it, don't buy it. And then hopefully when Chelsea's in a better place, however many years down the line with different owners, fingers crossed, then you can come back. But again, you don't have to go through the club. You don't have to go through the club. Too much meddling by the EPL in Chelsea's affair. That's true. BSR. It's all financial, guys. Unfortunately, a lot of these articles that you see on TalkSport now, it's all about money. That's where we are. We're Hedge Fund FC. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Big up to you, Chelsea FC RK. Appreciate the super chats. Big up to you, Andy, as well. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. jump on. If you can't do that, I'll be on at 8 o'clock. We'll catch up soon, and much more to come. Big up to everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening.